Hello, everyone. Hope you're well and coping with lockdown. I thought it's time I had a chat with you about the state of football, and specifically about Walsall Football Club and how we're coping with lockdown. And you will have seen over the weekend the indicative vote that the Football League Two clubs came to curtail the season at this point. And I felt it's important to explain why we reached that decision. And when I say decision, when it's an indicative vote, therefore it has to go to the EFL. So it is not yet a decision. I must stress this, that the League Two season is over. It is the will of the clubs that participate in it. Therefore, that carries some weight. But it is not the final decision. We have to wait for the final decision to come back to us to determine whether we carry on with the season in some form or not. I thought it was important to explain why that decision was reached and supported by me and the rest of the football club. The first and foremost is one of health and safety. Compliance with COVID security, I can assure you, is extremely onerous. And to implement that, to get the rest of the season completed, would have been, in our view, a step too far. Ready for next season? Absolutely. But to implement everything we need to implement for this season would have been just a step too far. The other thing, and cannot be ignored, is the costs of compliance with COVID-19 would have been extremely high. Players being tested twice a week, for example, does not come cheap. I can promise you that. And so and the fact that we'd be playing football in front of empty stadiums, the economics of which eventually began to make absolutely no sense. Therefore, to make a decision to curtail the season in the way that we did, which is we'll honour the promotion and that we will still try and make the playoffs happen. But the league is effectively frozen where we finished it a couple of months ago. And with the exception, we've tried to make the case for keeping Stevenage in the league, as you will have seen. So it's based really on the health costs. And the other thing is it gives us some certainty. It's very difficult to try and manage a situation when you really don't know what the outcome's going to be. So determine the outcome yourself as clubs, and we have decided collectively the best thing for us to do is to curtail the season, freeze it, end it in a fair and equitable way, move on, concentrate all our efforts now preparing for next season. So that means, of course, that there's 4 home games left this season which may not be played, and the likelihood is they won't be played, but I can't be definitive at this stage. If that's the case, there will be, of course, compensation due to the season ticket holders for games that weren't played, and rest assured that we will give the option to the fans who bought their season tickets that they can have a refund on those 4 matches, pro rata against their season ticket costs, or what I'd prefer you to do, if I'm perfectly honest, is we're going to put a package together for you which will give you as much value, in fact actually more value than the refund would, which I'd ask you to consider. I would prefer you to take the package because I do not want cash coming out of the business at this moment in time, but I utterly respect that cash at the moment for families might be very, very tight. If you want the refund, you will get the refund on a pro rata basis. If you cannot do that and take the package, which we will publish once we know the season is definitely over, then please consider taking that if you would. There's been a lot of talk as well about the football never being the same again, and it's over dramatised, and a lot of stuff that appears in the media, it's never a discussion I'm involved in. And frankly, I've been involved in hours upon hours of discussions with the EFL over the last 8 weeks, hours even last Friday. So football will change. There's no question. I think we will have to deal with COVID depending on where it has in its own life cycle. Come the start of the season, there may be social distancing. There may be caps on the sizes of our squads and how much we're allowed to spend. I actually think that's a good thing, not a bad thing. But football will be recognisable in many ways from what you've been used to over the years. I don't see it being completely fundamentally changed, so you wouldn't recognise it as a product you've got used to over the years. And certainly as much as we can preserve of what we've enjoyed over the years will continue. But there will be changes depending on where COVID-19 is at that point, and some decisions that we make as the EFL about how we control the business going forward. Because there's no doubt the COVID's hit clubs very hard financially, and we're going to have to recover from that. I'll keep you informed as decisions are made and we know what the future looks like. I will keep you informed. What I won't do though is enter into more speculation about what the future might hold, because it's unhelpful, it's misleading, and I just won't do it. So when decisions are made, I'll let you know, and the state of the football club, I will keep you informed. In terms of the general football club, we've worked very hard, I can assure you, to make sure that we are in a good position to come out the other side of this crisis, because it is a crisis for the whole of the game. And we're in as good a shape as we could be at this stage. Tough decisions have been made, will continue to be made to make sure that we sustain it, but we'll come through it. So stay well. I'll talk to you soon, and we will publish the details of the refund process as and when the season is formally ended, and then I'll speak to you again. Take care and see you soon. Bye bye.